Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Okay guys, I'm going to be seeing a video today and this is titled "Can you pass Germany's toughest driving test?" Okay, I am not going to be surprised if their driving test is actually tough and hard, because I know they have like crazy Autobahn, a no speed limit. Okay, so I know it's going to be crazy. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's it's going to be tough for me, definitely, because okay, well, let's check this out. Let's see what this video has to say about Germany's driving test. So without further ado, please subscribe and let's get right into this.
Getting your driving license in Germany. It's harder than you might think. Germans are famous around the world for their cars, so it's really no surprise that they're also renowned as very disciplined drivers. How difficult is it to get your driving license in Germany? How expensive is it? How complicated is the whole process? What exactly makes Germans such disciplined road users, and what else do you need to know about getting your German driving license? Hop in, let's find out. There are several steps you need to take before you can even think about getting behind the wheel.
Okay.
First, you need to pass an eye test. Then you must complete a first aid course, so that you're prepared if you get into an accident. Are you okay? Once you've done those, it's time to enroll at a driving school. German law dictates that you must attend at least 21 hours of theory classes and have 12 practical special training drives. Thought you could get a friend or a family member to teach you? Wrong. It has to be a qualified instructor.
Brake, wheel.
That's a lot of steps. I got my license in Scotland when I was 17 and I didn't need to take an eye test or do a first aid course. My dad gave me a lot of my lessons and I think I did maybe 10 official hours of lessons. So quite a big difference there. What's it like in your country? Here are some facts and figures about Germany. It has the highest number of registered passenger cars in the EU, around 49 million, and ranks third in Europe for traffic injuries per million inhabitants, after Austria and San Marino. But Germany has one of the lowest road death rates, at 3.3 per 100,000 inhabitants, compared to 6.6 Europe-wide, 10.8 in the US, and 14.6 worldwide. And one of the lowest rates of drink driving deaths. South Africa and the US.
One of the lowest rates of drunk driving deaths. Sorry, I mean to say. I know Germans actually like taking beer, and I kind of like think with that habit of theirs, like there will be lots of record of drunk driving accidents, like, and deaths. So seeing this now, one of the lowest rates of drunk driving deaths, it's really shocking to me because I wasn't expecting to see something like this. Okay, wow.
Have the highest. Here in Germany, you're allowed 0.5 milligrams per milliliter of blood unless you cause any trouble on the streets. That's around 2 small beers for the average man, but maybe just 1 for me. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't advocate drinking and driving either way. Okay, now we're ready to start driving. I'm heading to a lesson, but to get there, I need to get onto the German Autobahn, which is famous for having no speed limit. Onto the Autobahn. Not gonna lie, this always makes me a little bit nervous. Driving Safety Centre. Now it's time to start driving lessons. I'm meeting a certified driving instructor to get the lowdown on everything that these lessons entail.
Ta-da! So, kann's losgehen.
Ready? Robert Fleming has been teaching Berliners to drive for 2 years. Berlin is a notoriously difficult city to learn how to drive in. So he seems like the best person to take me on a test drive. So what does a block of driving lessons in Germany actually look like? What's the general idea?
You have 12 hours of basic material followed by 2 hours of class-specific material for Category B, the car driver's license. Then comes the theory test. After that, you can start your practical lessons straight away, and then the special training drives begin. Special training drives are for the highway, country roads, and night driving.
How expensive is it to learn how to drive in Germany?
These days, I think you can or should expect to pay around 3,500 euros on average.
Practical lessons typically run from 900 to 2,000 euros in total. Special trips, aka nighttime drives, cost an extra 400 to 800 euros, and the practical exam itself can cost up to 250 euros. With registration fees and theory lessons on top of that, Germany is one of the costliest countries in the world to learn to drive in. Norway and Switzerland are considered the world's most expensive at around 4,000 euros, while countries like India, Thailand and Russia are among the cheapest. So do you think there's a reason why Germans are known for being such disciplined road users? Do you think the test is quite complicated?
First of all, I believe that Germans like regulations. They like laws. They like to know how to behave. I think the other reason is that in Germany in particular, people have respect for other people's property. But even more than that, respect for their own property.
We're on the Autobahn again, so back to that no speed limit thing. I am very aware of the fact that on certain parts of the Autobahn there is no speed limit. What's your thought on that?
The old myth that there's no speed limit in Germany comes up time and again. Yet there are speed limits in Germany. On the parts of the highway where most people think there's none, there is still a recommended speed limit, and that is 130 kilometers per hour on German highways. You can drive faster, it's technically permitted. You can drive 400 kilometers an hour for all I care, but you're taking on a huge responsibility for yourself as well as for the other road users. And if you have an accident, you may no longer have any insurance coverage since you are driving faster than the law permits you to under the best possible conditions.
I think the city of Berlin does have a bit of a reputation for having quite a high fail rate, doesn't it?
Yeah, so in the theory exam, almost half fail the first time.
Wow. Okay, admittedly, I did fail my theory the first time round.
So somewhere between 40 and 50% fail on average in Germany. Very good. Already nodded our heads today. And in the practical, it's a good 30% of people
The pass or fail?
that fail on the first attempt.
China, Montenegro, Hungary, Japan and Australia have the toughest test requirements.
Oh, really?
While Bangladesh, Belarus, Egypt, India and Mexico are among the easiest, with minimal theory and practical experience. Geschafft! Well, thank you so much for teaching me how to drive in Germany. And what's the verdict? Do you think I would have passed?
I'd say you passed, but just barely. There are 2 or 3 little things you could pay more attention to in the future. The rest, tip-top.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dankeschön. Okay, so you finally passed your test. Hooray! That means you don't need to worry anymore, right? Well, not quite. For 2 years, you're on probation. That means if you commit any violations...
For 2 years? Okay. After learning, you're still going to be on probation for 2 years. It's not like that in my country here in Nigeria, okay? Once you're done with your driving class and lessons, you pass the test. There's nothing like being on probation, okay? You get your driver's license and you hit the road, and that's just it, okay? Wow, 2 years.
During this time, you risk losing your license.
Wow.
Okay, you're now a fully qualified driver. Simple, kind of. So there are a lot of steps involved, but to be honest, it does make me feel safer driving on the roads here, knowing that everyone around me clearly had to be a very good driver in order to be able to pass their test. How does the process compare to your country? Let us know in the comments.
That's interesting. That's quite interesting with all these procedures. That means definitely anyone you meet on the road is actually a certified good driver. Let me use that word, okay? Interesting, interesting. Like 2 years probation, like you mess around, you lose your license. Okay, that's really going to put everyone on check on the road. Okay, this is really beautiful. All right, thank you for watching, and see you guys on my next one. Bye.